Just for the
No,
record,
they were
you're flat
overly
calling
aggressive.
them a murderer. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that they look like they murdered those people in cold blood in broad daylight.
They murdered her. Is that right?
Hey, I'll say it. It looked like those agents murdered those innocent American citizens in our streets.
What murders are you talking about?
I'm talking about Renee Good, Alex Preddy.
Have there been convicted murderers in these cases?
We've seen the video evidence, which shows.
Guys, MAGA pundits are once again acting like clowns to defend their beloved leader, Donald Trump. Last night on Abby Phillip show on CNN, MAGA pundits were literally turning into logic pretzels to explain how Trump and his administration are working day and night to improve the lives of ordinary working class people in this country. Guys, I think at this point, one thing should be very clear to everyone. Trump doesn't give a damn about the working class common people, because if he cared one bit for them, he would have never started this stupid war with Iran. It's clear as day that Trump cares more about his billionaire friends than the people who live paycheck to paycheck. I'm saying this because so far, most of his policies have been pro-corporate and anti-working class. Now, I'm going to play some clips from the debate, and I'll give my opinion as we go.
Dramatic new video shows a federal agent pointing a gun in a woman's face after he claimed she tried to run him over. The encounter happened on Monday in Northern Virginia as Carolina Molina, an American citizen and a licensed counselor, was visiting immigration lawyers. Molina says she saw agents walking two Latino men in handcuffs towards an unmarked vehicle, leading to this confrontation.
Yeah, you recorded us. You almost ran us over.
I didn't almost
You almost ran us over.
You're
Stop
so
playing.
Full of
Stop playing.
You are full of
You're not funny.
You're not funny.
I will arrest you. Keep it up.
I'm a legal citizen.
Keep it up. I don't care.
Oh, my goodness.
We have to lock you up.
Okay. For what?
The one that tried to run us over.
Run you over when? I got recording. I got dash cam. That's a lie.
As DHS faces criticism over its use of force and its credibility, ICE now plans to spend $20 million on gloves that can deliver electric shocks to compel compliance. Josh, this is near where you live. We've seen a lot of these types of videos, and I think what a lot of law enforcement has said when they watch this is you are seeing this agent, and of course we don't know the full context of this, what happened before this video was taken, but we see him exit the vehicle with his gun, pointing it in the face of Carolina Molina. What does this say to you?
Right. To be fair, I just moved to this neighborhood yesterday, but I do live 5 minutes from where this happened as of yesterday. And a lot of things went wrong there. He's pointing a gun at someone's face. He clearly is threatening the person. The justification that he used was, you tried to run me over, was the exact same justification that ICE agents used, in that case falsely, before they shot Renee Good to death in Minnesota. So that's not an idle threat. That's not a random thing to say, you were about to run me over. That's clearly a threat against this driver. And that's scary. That's thuggish. That's, in my view, un-American. And, you know, there are a lot of societies where they have mass secret police that point guns in people's faces, despite the fact they've done nothing unlawful. And that's not how this country was designed. And I don't think that's how this country will end up. But that video shows that actually the truth will win out. I think there's plenty of video to show that what the ICE agent was saying was not true. And until more evidence emerges, I think that's the preponderance of the evidence. And I immediately bought 2 dash cams for our cars as soon as I saw that video. And because I live in that neighborhood now, and God forbid me or my family members should be in that situation, I want to make sure everything is documented. And it's sad that we live in a society where that's necessary, but here we are.
Scott?
Well, I don't think we've seen near enough to pass judgment on it one way or the other. I think in all these instances, and I don't know whether this is true here, body cam footage from the point of view of the officer would be useful. That would show you the entire encounter, and then you could maybe pass some kind of reasonable judgment on it. I know they're trying to deploy those, but to me, that's one thing here that would be helpful in almost all these cases. You get a, A to Z video of the entire encounter. I do find it strange. We see people showing up, they're in their cars, and they're somehow in very, very close proximity to people.
You're allowed to take the police. You're allowed to take law enforcement.
I'll pause here for a bit. Guys, ICE didn't exist 20-ish years ago. And at this point, I think it's likely beyond reform in any way. Better to scrap and create a new force, give it a peppier moniker like American Customs Immigration, and do mass hiring with the absolutely best training for respectful, qualified agents who understand the law and their responsibilities. At this point, guys, I feel like if the Trump administration was really determined to get a handle on illegal immigration, they would go after the business owners that hire illegal immigrants. It's like police raiding a known drug dealer's house and nabbing all the buyers while the drug dealer sits on the couch, drugs openly on display, watching it all happen. And again, guys, I mentioned this before in another video that immigration-related offenses are almost exclusively civil offenses or misdemeanors and are administered by an armed police force. What ICE is doing to the immigrants is not legal at all. The way these agents are behaving in the streets, I think even after Trump's time ends in office, no one, including the Republican base, is ever going to trust ICE again. And trust is the only way it can do its job. If it can't do its actual job, which is processing actual legitimate cases of immigration law violations, it doesn't need to exist. If you remember, guys, we had a suit and tie civil servant type agency handling immigration law for over half a century, and it was mostly working fine for that entire time until it was essentially dissolved when it was merged into ICE in 2003. And ever since 2003, the only things that have resulted from ICE is the agency being borderline rogue, since it was founded all the way to how it's acting now as a private policing agency of a criminal president. The sheer number of human rights violations that have been reported, even before 2016, were staggering. Substandard medical care and preventable deaths in custody were already a not uncommon occurrence with ICE before Trump. And at this point, I think it's crystal clear that the way ICE is managing immigrants isn't working out, and the agents aren't actually doing their federally mandated job and are acting like proper goons. I don't think any of the officers who were part of this force will ever be trusted by the public again with so much as a pencil sharpener.
I know, but you're not allowed to threaten them with a vehicle.
There's no evidence that happened.
Wasn't
and you would have to ignore all of what happened in the last 18 months. Because
you would have to ignore the fact that we have seen a massive spike in violent acts committed against ICE and other federal law enforcement. These guys wearing the badge and enforcing our laws feel like their lives are under threat every day.
There's a real good answer to that, which is that they should operate under regular rules of transparency and rule of law that every single other law enforcement agent in the country has operated in since the time immemorial.
Well,
and they don't do that.
They're facing an environment and rhetoric. They're facing an environment and rhetoric from Democrat politicians in this country that have put a target on their backs.
You would set up an army of mass thugs roaming the streets and rounding people up and then blaming people for reacting it is just gaslighting.
Riddle me this. Obama was able to deport more than 3 million people without all of this chaos, without having to give agents these shock gloves, and there were murders of American citizens in our streets. And he was able to do it. So it seems like there can be immigration enforcement.
What murders are you talking about?
I'm talking about Renee Good, Alex Pretty.
Have there been convicted murders in these cases?
We've seen the video evidence, which shows a very...
So just for the record,
they were
you're
overly
calling
aggressive.
them a murderer. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that they look like they murdered those people in cold blood, in broad daylight.
They murdered her, is that right?
Hey, I'll say it. It looked like those agents murdered those innocent American citizens in our streets. And there's a way to do immigration enforcement without all of this chaos, without all of this violence.
If people
Obama
would
showed
with
us
law
that it's
enforcement,
possible.
There wouldn't be chaos. No one was
But why then
with
are
Barack
mass
Obama.
agents going into communities and terrorizing them? And
I agree with you that Barack Obama was able to deport millions upon millions of people. The difference is now the Democratic Party has changed. Back then, I guess they were fine with it. Today, they instruct people to go interfere with federal law enforcement.
That's not actually true. I think
they train activists to do it.
The culture of ICE has changed exponentially.
Yes, because we're not training them adequately. We're not even training them adequately, and now we're going to give them a new weapon and give them shock gloves? What could go wrong?
The culture has changed simply because we're seeing mothers being separated from their children. We're seeing masked agents come into communities where they're not even telling you who they are or showing you their badges. You're talking about people being run over by cars, and what you're seeing ICE agents actually put themselves in the line of danger. And if you talk to the Seth Stoutons or the Jeffrey Alperts or these experts in law enforcement training, et cetera, they will tell you that a law enforcement officer should never put themselves in the line of danger. When you're talking about Pretty and you're talking about Renee Good, were they murdered? The answer is yes. The fact is they were murdered in the street. And, you know, the answer that we probably cannot agree on is, you know, what was it, malice aforethought, all those things. But we can probably agree that they should still be alive today. And we can probably agree that whatever crime they committed was not a death penalty crime. if in fact they committed a crime at all.
Guys, imagine if Kamala Harris became the first female president of the United States and then tore down the East Wing, obsessed about a ballroom, started a losing war with Iran, took away the healthcare and food from children, raked in billions, fired everyone to put her friends in their positions, fell asleep on camera consistently, mouthed off on social media, openly prosecuted people she didn't like without real cause, started a slush fund to protect rioters, and generally lied every second of the day. I mean, the same MAGA community who is silent for Trump would have torn her apart. I mean, the double standard is the size of the Grand Canyon at this point. And secondly, guys, I think the way ICE has spread fear throughout this country among native citizens and immigrants, I feel like all this administration has managed to do is make its citizens fearful of any positive reaction with law enforcement. There was a time not long ago when law enforcement actually had to justify pulling their weapon when they did paperwork. Now it seems like they don't give a damn about the consequences because their departments and the administration back their lies every single time. I mean, it's pretty disgusting. And guys, regarding ICE, you absolutely cannot convince me that it is actual police. Sure, I'd probably do what they say because I fear for my life, but there's no chance I would ever think or believe that it's actual police. I mean, if you just look at the video of the recent incident, the woman's dashcam video clearly proves that she was not trying to run them over or anything like that. Pulling a gun on her just because she did a U-turn is crazy. She was nowhere near running them over. And the sickening thing is that despite the video evidence, DHS still claims in their official response to the incident that she began to drive her car in circles around our ICE officers and then attempted to harm officers by weaponizing her vehicle against them, all in an attempt to help illegal aliens get away. I mean, when you can't even get them to admit their agent was wrong or that they might have overreacted even just a bit, when the video proves they were completely without a doubt in the wrong from the get-go, what the F are we supposed to do now? I mean, our government is literally excusing the harassment and killing of innocent citizens by federal agents before any kind of actual investigation takes place.
The culture of ICE has changed, and the problem is ICE has no leadership. I don't blame those officers on the street. I blame the fact that there is absolutely no leadership at ICE, no one who has the fortitude to make sure that you have a culture, rules in place. And then if we want to talk about policy, we could talk about qualified immunity and how that's run amok. So you have officers doing the BS that these officers are doing. You know what that officer did? That officer escalated the situation. That's what that was. That's not protecting yourself.
Just
That's
reminded
called
those shootings are
escalation.
still under
They put a
investigation.
gun in a woman's
Oh, wait, they're not
face.
murders? Is that what you're saying, Lulu?
I'm saying
No,
that they're.
that
We've got a bunch of people here that have already passed judgment.
That
if you
incident
watch
that
the
we
video,
just watched on camera was alarming, and I think there's going to be a full investigation. We're going to see what went awry. I agree with Scott. We need body cam footage, but just one time, I would love to hear about a far scarier incident. In the last 24 hours, we learned that Todd Stewart was murdered by an illegal immigrant who was let out by a California judge who had already committed a crime. Why is there never a segment or footage shown of American citizens who are killed by illegal?
We should be targeting illegal aliens who commit crimes. I agree. And that's what the Trump administration said that they were going to do.
They let them out of jail.
But then we're deporting people who are law-abiding citizens, or not citizens, but law-abiding residents who
They're
are
not law-abiding
contributing.
if they're here illegally.
Contributing to their community.
They're not law-abiding
They're contributing
by
to their
definition.
community,
But what
and
about-
instead
they're
those are the
not
people they're
law-abiding.
targeting,
What about
and then
But
innocent
just-
Americans are getting caught in the crosshairs.
I mean, there's two things here. First of all, there is a credibility gap with ICE. I mean, we have seen the government and ICE themselves and the agents say that things have happened that are then shown not to have happened. We have seen that in many, many instances. I mean, look here. A man shot by ICE agent in Minneapolis was charged with aggravating assault. And then, of course, that didn't turn out to be the case. There was that other case
The
where
shovel case. You're talking about the shovel case.
It wasn't just the shovel case.
I'm
There
with you.
are ones over and over and over again, and it seems that there is a tactic where some of these officers, some of these agents are saying things that are not true, and the Trump administration is backing them up before there is any evidence to the contrary. And so what we see in polling now is that something that the president was very, very, very strong on. People supported his immigration objectives. He is now underwater on that issue because of what has happened in places
because
like
they've gone too
Minneapolis.
far. And I agree that body cam footage would be great if we're actually
37%
enforcing it when
approved
law
now,
enforcement
60%
uses it and doesn't use it. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to always be the case with ICE when they seem to, oh, we just didn't happen to have our body cameras on. And it cuts both ways. It would incentivize law enforcement to act better, but it would also make the case for if that use of force was necessary.
It's true,
so
though.
we need to be enforcing it and holding these people accountable when they're not. But there doesn't seem to be accountability there.
Actually, in the cases, some of the cases you mentioned, I know in the shovel case, you're right. The officers didn't tell the truth, and then the agency immediately admitted it, and they moved on disciplinary proceedings after they realized. So there was a story. It was a bad story. It was a false story.
And then it was repeated at the highest levels of the Trump administration.
I'm trying to agree with you.
Okay.
Then the agency said, we looked into this. The officers didn't tell the truth. And then the White House and the upper levels of ICE said, yes, this was a mistake, and we're moving on them on disciplinary. That's what they should have done.
Has the White House ever apologized for calling Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist?
They're having hundreds of thousands of interactions across the country. It is unreasonable to assume that 100% of them are going to go smoothly and swimmingly. And it's also unreasonable to assume that the police are at fault in every single one. But that seems to be what we do around here.
I mean, everybody knows that
the White House, though, prematurely call him a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, that turned out not to be true.
I wouldn't, if I were in their shoes, but I would not prejudge or pre-describe anything, particularly when you don't have body cam. Now, after you get body cam footage and you're going to have instant evidence, I guess we can all hop on our jump to conclusions mats with a little bit more stability. But in these cases where you don't know, and in this case we just played, you don't know what happened before that interaction. Maybe she did get too close to them with a car. You don't know that yet.
Well, thank God she was filming it at least, because we don't know if there will be body cam.
And you only have her footage. You have a clipped piece of it.
Basically, in order to buy Scott's defense, you would have to ignore what everybody knows, which is that they set up this ICE system in a hurry with billions of dollars by hiring thousands of unqualified people and not denying them the proper training to do that job, and then giving them these quotas for arrests and let them loose on these communities in a systematic way. The direction came from the top. The system was designed from the top, and it functioned as designed, which was to terrorize these communities.
Are you arguing?
And everybody knows that. And the abuses are a predictable and predicted outcome of that system from the very beginning, and everybody knows that.
You're arguing that everybody who's been hired is unqualified and untrained. You said it. You said thousands are
unqualified, but there's hundreds of thousands. Well, I would love for
I think we've seen the video evidence that shows that they're unqualified.
We need more.
And not following proper procedure, tactics.
We need a lot of law enforcement to identify themselves before they arrest
If we go back to the video, I can tell you that the officer who pointed the gun at this young lady is unqualified. I can tell you that the black guy who came in from the side and yelled at this young lady, although he wasn't a part of the incident, unqualified.
Undertrained.
Undertrained. I mean, I can literally look at the video and discuss and articulate what the issue is.
People wanted immigration
to no immigration enforcement.
No, people wanted immigration enforcement. That is so false. People wanted immigration enforcement. They didn't want the violence. They didn't want the chaos.
Why when the argument doesn't go well, do we make these like big sensationalized?
It's what your candidates are arguing.
We just talked
abolish ICE. No immigration enforcement.
That's what the moderate in Wisconsin. The moderate in Wisconsin believes that.
Guys, it really makes me sick that our trash administration has billions of dollars to equip ICE with the electric gloves, but they don't have enough to provide affordable health care to the poor citizens. I mean, this country is a complete joke at this point. I was listening to Trump's speech from a couple days ago, and he literally said that gas prices are high right now, but it's okay. I'll never apologize for it. I mean, the man just does not care what the people of this country want. He's a horrible man, incapable of taking responsibility or admitting wrongdoing. The whole Iran war was totally avoidable. All he had to do was ask a member of the Joint Chiefs. I mean, the war with Iran scenario has always been a bad idea. Every single U.S. president before Trump understood this very basic fact. And don't forget, guys, we had a perfectly fine treaty with Iran that ensured no nuclear proliferation. Trump unilaterally ripped it up in his term because Obama signed it. He was so jealous of Obama that he couldn't digest the fact Obama stopped Iran from building nukes without firing a single bullet. So I mean, this is all 100% Trump's fault. The deaths, injuries, inflation, gas prices, etc. And the worst part of it is, guys, during the speech when Trump said that he won't apologize for raising gas prices, MAGA was cheering like stupid clowns. I mean, I don't understand what the F is wrong with these people. At this point, seeing all this, I've come to accept that nothing brings these people joy in life besides owning the lib. It's all they care about. It's not even that they really worship Trump. I mean, some of them do, but not all. It's that they just love how Trump attacks liberals in the worst possible ways. They live their lives in constant hatred of the left. It's the only thing that they think about. So when a man comes along and brings that hatred with him, they love it. They'll gladly live in a worse society where they're spending immensely more on things if it means that one goal is achieved. It's so effing sad. And secondly, guys, in my opinion, to fix the system of this country and prevent another Trump-like person from becoming the president, this country needs an independent branch reporting directly to the people that monitors and prosecutes all crimes committed by the top as a priority. What we have is an elite that run the country like a personal money machine with no regard for the welfare of the working class. They have degraded to criminals operating in daylight, unfazed and unshielded from the law. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I'll see you soon with another one.